Hi, everybody. My name is Lee Beatty, and I want to welcome you to this quick presentation. And at the end of it, I'm going to, provide you with an opportunity to join up to 100 people to actually pick up what it is that I put together, which was a case study about LinkedIn because of an aha moment that I had when I realized it just wasn't cutting it and I wasn't having the success with LinkedIn. And ultimately, I was able to actually use LinkedIn and unleash it in a way that I was getting a ton of not only connections but professionals, and really starting to use LinkedIn the way I should have been in the first place, and is why I actually put this case study together. So if you're wanting to learn how to rapidly expand your professional network using LinkedIn, then you're in the right place. So who am I? I'm obviously the guy creating the course, Mr. Smiley Face right there. And what you're seeing right there is one of the actual aha moments that I actually had during this case study. I realized that I was not having success because one of the things that was holding me back was my profile image, and I changed it. As you can see right there, I made some revisions to it amongst many other things that I did. And this is one of the things I'm probably going to really open your eyes to and what you might want to do with regard to your LinkedIn profiles and your images as well. So, who am I and why should you even trust me? So, I grew up, I was a military brat. Both my parents both served in the United States Army. They introduced me to culture, the world, and really structure in a way that most people just don't get the opportunity to really have in their lives. So for me, at an early age, both my parents being non-commissioned officers, senior non-commissioned officers at that, they were really provided leadership and a path for me to, excel in my life, and I'm forever grateful. After high school, I decided I wanted to follow my parents' footsteps, but I decided to join the United States Air Force instead of the Army. And along the way, I was really proud that I served and was really, really, really essentially proud of what I did, but I wanted more. And at that point, after 5.5+ years, I decided I was going to take my talents to the corporate America world, which leads me to what I did next. I was a global field service engineer in the semiconductor field. A lot of you right now are watching this video from an electronic device that I myself and many thousands of other people like myself who have supported with the machines and the what we call tools that allow to make the microchips and electronics that you all love and enjoy right now. I was also a project manager and a safety coordinator for some of the world's largest customer sites and in support of those customer sites worldwide. And there's no point in name dropping, but just I'll assure you that many of you, your microprocessors inside your computers, your tablets, your phones, I have supported those customer sites in one way or another, either as a field service engineer, project manager, or a safety. During that time, I realized my will and that fire that burned inside me to be an entrepreneur was more than me wanting to continue to travel like I was in corporate America. So I decided that I wanted to really focus 100% of my effort on being an entrepreneur, which led me to publishing books, creating courses, and along the way, learning about something that has absolutely changed my life. So within that time frame, I started obviously 7 years ago, but it didn't start off like you would expect. Even though I had a very technical job, being a field service engineer and safety and project manager is very different than being an internet marketer. And when I first started, I didn't understand the differences in being a technician versus a business owner, being a technophobe versus a seasoned marketer, et cetera, et cetera. So in those 7 years, I've learned a process through many trials and errors, many mistakes that I've made, and essentially because of all the mistakes, it has really led me to social media and some of these other spheres that I never intended to, and thank goodness I have. So along my way, I've created courses just like the one you're seeing right now, and Just on the Udemy platform, I wanted to quote how many students I have. Now, I have over 4,000 students just from the Udemy platform alone. And courses like this, even though I'm opening this up to 100 people, really, I don't really know exactly how many students in total, but just from the Udemy platform itself, I have over 4,000 students, and I just started creating courses as of 5 months ago. So, I'm getting a lot of leverage there. So, my next question for you is, are you my next success story? Okay. So why are you here? Okay, many of you are here because you're using LinkedIn. Maybe you're not having the success with LinkedIn like I wasn't. And as I'm actually making this video for you right now in this presentation, this is exactly day number 30, and from when I first started my case study. So I'm literally 1 month out from when I first started with only having 63 connections and 1 million professionals, a little over 1 million professionals in my network. So you're probably here more than likely because you want more connections. You want more professionals in your network. At least that's why I started within LinkedIn. And you want those connections and those professionals to interact with you and your message. Okay? Or you're either here because you want to establish yourself as an authority. Just like I showed you with that picture before, I learned and I had my aha moment and decided I'm going to change a lot of that. And obviously have to establish myself as an authority, which has been really, really nice. Or you're here because you want a better job. Okay, many people are using LinkedIn for that purpose, and I wanted to throw that in here because there are people who are searching for other individuals to link with and potentially get a better job, which leads me to the very last bullet point, which is to network with other like-minded professionals. That is why people are joining LinkedIn, because they want to network with other like-minded professionals. LinkedIn is the largest professional social media network in the world. So for those of you who are looking to network with other like-minded professionals, LinkedIn is the perfect location for you to start and allows you to instantly gravitate towards other professionals in a social media based network, obviously called LinkedIn. LinkedIn has over 300 million users. So if you're wanting to know what LinkedIn is a social media network for professionals, and it has over 300 million users strong. LinkedIn reaches over 200 countries and territories worldwide. Did you even know there were that many countries and territories? I know I didn't until I started doing the research on it. There are over 20 different languages that are spoken on LinkedIn. Although primarily mine is English, I was astounded when I found out that there are 20 different languages that are spoken on LinkedIn and that platform, and just how valuable this platform is for those 200 countries and how many different languages are being spoken right now. Over 40% of those users actually check their LinkedIn accounts daily. So that means over 120 million of those professionals are checking LinkedIn daily. And they're looking to expand their reach, their connections, and their professional network just like you are. There are over 30 million users right now who are recent graduates. So that means the younger generation who is gravitating towards LinkedIn, they do understand the power of LinkedIn and aren't necessarily using Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, etc., to really build out their presence. They're actually using LinkedIn. They're gravitating towards LinkedIn because they realize these professionals, these other like-minded people, are who they want to instantly associate themselves with. Over 65% of LinkedIn users are actually based outside of the United States of America. That's a shocker. So out of those 300 million users, that means almost 200 million of those users are actually based outside of the US. Amazing statistic right there. Over 1 billion LinkedIn endorsements. So that means all of you who don't know what that means, all of you that actually go on LinkedIn and people are, endorsing your skill set, or, maybe you put a set of skills out there and people start to endorse them. It means over 1 billion of those LinkedIn endorsements have been made up to date. Did you know that LinkedIn is the 11th most popular website globally right now? 11th in the world right now. In the United States, it's the 7th most popular website which, as you can see, these are screenshots I've taken from Alexa.com. The audience demographics, which really shocked me when I start to look at this, is it's predominantly female who are very educated. They have college, they have graduate level. So that means a lot of these folks that are using this are extremely educated. They have higher degrees of education and are looking to network with other higher degrees of education and other people for the opportunities or the network possibilities that they may have. And the great part about this is they're checking LinkedIn from school or work. So that means they're already in their professional environments right now that would allow them to start networking with people immediately because of that fact. So this wouldn't be really a statistic without showing you, hey, what other social media networks are referring this traffic? And to me, this is, again, this graphic that you're seeing here is sourced from SimilarWeb. I use a couple different, sites to actually gravitate towards. And with this, the referral traffic that's coming into LinkedIn is coming from Facebook, Twitter, SlideShare, YouTube, and Reddit. Those are very high percentages there. And the leading countries that are using LinkedIn right now are obviously the United States, United Kingdom, India, Canada, Netherlands, and those are just the top 5. And that's when I started seeing all of those, I realized that the reason why I was not having success is because my profile strength was not at an all-star level. And when I realized that and I had that aha moment, that's when I began to make changes. And when I did, that's when this case study started. And as I actually, creating this for you, my profile right now is at an all-star level. So when I first started, it wasn't. And when I realized I was actually leaving connections and professionals out there that were probably wanting to connect with somebody like me, I just didn't realize that my profile was one of the biggest hindrances that I was having as to why I wasn't growing it at the rate that I wanted to. So what happened next? As you can see here, this is taken as a screenshot inside my LinkedIn. And this is what I started to realize: when you actually do it right, what happens as a result is astronomical. As you guys can see there, I was not having what I would consider to be the most success ever. Okay, and mind you, you can see right here. This is these little blocks here that you're seeing as it ramps up. This is over really a week and a half to 2 week period where I immediately took action. I realized that after I changed my profile, there were certain actions that I decided to take, and they had to be and meet my criteria, which was I kept everything within the criteria of KISS, which is keep it simple, silly. Okay. And when I decided that, I immediately realized that you can do small, simple, scalable tasks that can literally, just blow your LinkedIn connections and professional network up as a result. So as you can see, my case study, when I started and I stopped, as you can see there, I immediately took action. And when I initially changed my profile, I saw a little spike in traffic. And when I saw that spike, as you can see there, that's when I realized, because after I changed it and I put out a video saying, hey, I made this change, you should probably do the same. And I noticed it and I had that aha moment. Then 10 days later, I saw that spike. I realized, like, wow, what am I doing? And why am I not doing enough of that? Okay. Then I realized some of the small, simple, scalable steps that I took were very easy to do. And so at that point, I started a case study. And I did a 7-day case study. And the guidelines were I had to do it for 7 days at only 30 minutes a day. Okay, I wanted to make it very easy to obtain, but I wanted to appeal to anyone. The working class professional. I wanted to appeal to those people who are, obviously, they have jobs and they have, these careers, and a lot of them are really pressed for time. So I wanted to essentially mirror that. And as you're seeing right here, this is taken as a screenshot inside of my actual LinkedIn account. But here's the thing. This case study had to meet certain requirements, okay? Because there are going to be certain things that I'm going to discuss in here that, as I actually did this, I kept my dad in mind, kept my grandmother in mind. I kept people that what I they're just not really technically savvy like I am. And they are what I consider to be true technophobes. They are people that they don't even use the internet, and they don't, they don't even understand the value of using a computer, which is odd enough to me. But I wanted to make sure that I tailored this case study to meet those requirements, which are everything I did had to be free. Okay, that was the first and foremost. I wanted to appeal to anybody and everybody with regard to that. It has to be free. Okay, the second thing, it has to be simple enough that anyone can do it, no matter what your skill level. Okay, no matter how technical you are, uh, how advanced you are, or maybe you just realize LinkedIn is out there and you want to start on LinkedIn. I wanted to make sure that during this case study, as I'm doing these steps, it can be simple enough that anybody can do this. The next thing is everything that I did only requires 30 minutes maximum a day. Okay, this is not some crazy loophole. It's not some trick. This is taking laser targeted actions for 30 minutes maximum a day. If you want to scale it up, you can. Okay, everything that I did had to be duplicatable. Okay, it has to be duplicatable. Everything verbatim has to be duplicatable, and it has to be scalable. So there are certain people that can commit 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day, 30 minutes a day, and there are other people that that hey, 30 minutes is just isn't enough. I want to I want to take an hour. I want to do 2 hours. Don't worry. Everything that I cover in here is duplicatable and scalable. The best part about this is it doesn't require a premium membership, because there's a lot of people that I've seen after starting this case study, I started to really check and see what people are publishing out there, and really if there's any other content. But everything that I was reading on, everybody talked about needing a premium membership, and everything that I put together in this case study doesn't require a premium membership at all. If you have one, this is going to actually help you go to the next level, but it doesn't require it. And the last, but certainly not least, is it can be done on any device, okay? Which, again, whether you have a smartphone, you have a tablet, you have a laptop, it has to be done on any of those devices. And if you don't have any of those devices, then it's going to be awfully hard, because you don't have an internet connection, and you more than likely don't have access to a computer. So that's why I put that in there. So why free? Anyone, no matter what your skill level, current circumstances, can do this. So whether you're somebody who's out of a job, or maybe you're somebody who, like myself when I first started, you have that ambition to be an entrepreneur and you're on a limited budget. So that's why it's free. Okay, no matter what your current circumstances, you can do this. When you test out free methods, the return on investment is only your time. Okay, and that's why I wanted to use the power of free here. For any courses I've ever put out there, many of you will know that a lot of times I don't even recommend paid resources, only because not everybody has that in their budget, and the people that do have that in their budget, more than likely they're a little bit more advanced, or maybe they have more disposable income. But in this case, I wanted to make sure that when you do test out these methods and you start to see, your only investment really is your time. Okay, and as I said, free doesn't cost you anything other than your time and the internet connection, and really the ambition to actually want to do something about it. So is this simple enough? That was one of the main things for me. I wanted to, as I said before, I wanted to stay within the guidelines of KISS, which is keep it simple, silly. I mean, just don't overcomplicate the process. As with anything that I've ever learned, the more simple the process, the easier it is. And essentially, anyone can do it, and most people in many cases can duplicate what you're doing, and they can have success with it. And that's really the whole intent for it. And like I said, it had to, be easy enough that a technophobe can do it. And what I am suggesting that you do during this can allow you, no matter if you're a technophobe or if you're a newbie, or if you just, realize that LinkedIn is a viable solution for you, you can actually get results very quickly from what I outlined. And again, as I told you, even my grandmother, who never uses a computer, can do this. And that was every time that I put something together. It's really important to me that I stress that, because my grandmother, even though she has a nice computer, she never uses it. She doesn't know what it's really for, and she doesn't doesn't see the value in it. She's old school that way. So all right, so why only 30 minutes? Again, in my opinion, I needed a time frame that would allow me to take laser focused action. Okay, and what I mean by that is a lot of people, as a general rule, are that are going to observe this. They're going to say, "Oh, you know what? It has to be complicated, or is it has to require hours and hours and hours of your time." Remember, I started with 30 minutes of time for only a week, and I dramatically increased my network. Okay, 30 minutes is long enough to take action without feeling like the process is redundant. And what do I mean by that? A lot of people, when you're taking action, after a while you get bored. And within 30 minutes, most of you, your attention spans by that time are done. And that's just a general rule of thumb. Most people, their attention spans are only about 15 minutes. Okay. Well, I wanted to do it for 30 minutes, to where most people, maybe you have a free 15 minutes here, maybe you have a free 15 minutes there. You can either break this up into one 30-minute chunk or two 15-minute chunks or more, whichever you decide. That's why it's a scalable process. If you take what your time is worth and divide it by half, then this is your return on investment, really, for your 30 minutes of time. So whatever you get paid an hour, whatever you feel your time is worth, you divide it by half of that. And really, by you taking those actions for that 30 minutes, really, that's what your time could be worth to you. Or what, to me, that's really the easiest way to actually break this down. Okay. So why duplicatable and scalable? As with anything that I've ever bought over the last 7 years, most things that I've bought, aren't necessarily a duplicatable or scalable task. And, unless you're in some of these higher end mastermind groups, like I'm very fortunate to be in, a lot of things that people do are not duplicatable. They're just not. Most people, it doesn't appeal to really the masses, and it's just not duplicatable unless you have a certain level of skill. Well, that's where this is what's great about this. Everything that I cover in here can be duplicated over and over and over and over. That's the great part about it, okay? It is scalable. You can also scale this by increasing the amount of time that you take action, okay? Remember, okay, everything that I cover in here is easy to do, okay? It requires that you have the ambition and want to, really take action and change your life. Really, that's what this means, okay? And during this process, I worked as little as 3 minutes and up to 30 minutes. There were some days where I only worked 5 minutes, where I worked 10 minutes. And, during this 30-day period, that 7 days that I did the case study was my dedicated 30 minutes a day. I blocked out 30 minutes, and really over this last 30 days, I've really only committed maybe a total 7.5 to 8 hours total max to really building up this network. But during those 7 days was when I really blocked out the 30 minutes of time, and I really took action, and it was laser focused, and I did during this 7-day case study, and that's what really this course is all about. And the premium membership. Okay, folks, this was really important for me, because everything that I read, everyone that I saw required that you have a premium membership. And everything that I ever do, it's like, look, man, you don't have to have a premium membership. There's no way. I mean, you got to be able to have results without having a premium membership. Everybody can't afford to spend 140, whatever the price is of a premium membership. Everybody doesn't have that money, that disposable income. So all actions taken during this case study happened without the use of that premium membership. And that's very, very important for me, because I wanted to make sure that I did something anybody can duplicate. And there are many advantages to having a premium membership. And please let me point that out, that there are a ton of advantages to having a premium membership, but I wanted to make sure that I could put together something within regards to actionable steps that anybody can do, but it doesn't matter, because it doesn't require that you have one, which is great, okay? And like I said, it has to work on any device. And again, this is my favorite part of the whole scenario because I work primarily from my smartphone. Okay, and that was 75% of the time I used my actual smartphone, because at the end of the day, after I finished my quote unquote 8 hours for the day, I would I would realize that, you know what, I've got to bang out this case study. And a lot of times I was just using my smartphone as I was actually taking action at the end of the day while I was winding down. So that's the greatest part about that. But 25% of the time I actually used my laptop, and that's the greatest part. I used a tablet, I used a laptop, I used a desktop. Really, the laptop and the smartphone were primarily, 99% of the time is what I use, and with the smartphone being the primary source. So everything that I'm talking about and that I suggest in here, it works on every single one of those devices. It doesn't matter whatever you have. If you have something that has an internet connection, you could do this. Okay, so what's in this for you? All right, here's the greatest part is, okay, I just said there, you're actually giving an opportunity to beta test this actual LinkedIn Unleashed, okay? And it's only for a very limited time. Actually, you can see there, I talked to my team, and they said, look, 100 people is just not enough. Initially, I said 100 people, and then as I started to do this, my team was like, look, man, you got to give at least 200 copies, make those available to these folks. I mean, the price is right. It's really, it's not overly priced. And, the best part about it is that, after these 200 copies are sold, I'm actually pulling off the market to actually focus on working with those customers. And remember, those first 200 people that actually jump on this, you're actually getting this at a fraction of the price. Believe me, every LinkedIn course that I've ever seen, okay, has been a minimum value of $997. That's been the minimum value. I've seen others for $497, but most of these courses are just rehashed, okay, that I've seen. Okay, I don't personally know. I haven't bought any LinkedIn courses at all myself. It was never something I focused on. I focused primarily on Pinterest and Facebook and other forms like that, to really get the word out there. But when I realized it and I had that aha moment, that's when everything changed for me. Okay, so the first 200 people, and if you still see that green button below, then you're lucky, because after 200, I'm sorry, I got to pull this off, and I've already got it coded in that once it's actually, hits that 200 mark, it's being pulled down. Only because, those 200 people, they should know that they got a great value, and that it's not going to overwhelm and swamp the market, if you will. Okay, so what is this course that I'm talking about, and how is it going to actually help you? It's actually a 36-page ebook / PDF. Okay, I'm going to talk about how to optimize your profile. I spend a fair amount of time. If you remember initially when I showed you my picture, that was the first change that I made. But that's one of many that I'm actually going to suggest in there to you. Okay, you're going to get 9 over-the-shoulder videos as I actually go through and I demonstrate. And folks, remember, this is a beta test, so this is beta copies. So everything that I literally put together in here, and remember, today is day 30. All right, it is worth mentioning. Today is day 30 of when I started the case study 30 days ago. So this is absolutely hot off the presses. This is literally what is already working. And this is, oddly enough, this is after LinkedIn had made a couple changes along the way that I wasn't even aware of, that you're able to do things differently, or I would have built it up even faster. But after they made the changes, I was already making these changes on the fly as they made the adjustment on the 1st of October. So I'm going to introduce you to 5 secret, what I consider to be power groups. These are people and in this group that they're open to connections. They're wanting to connect with people like you. And you know what? One thing that I found out during this is one thing I'm really an astute learner on, and that is I love to do research. It's something that I offer in gigs and I offer in services. It's some of the things that I'm actually really good at. And along the way, as I'm doing this case study, I found and uncovered 5 different what I consider to be power groups. Okay, and I'm going to actually introduce you to one, and one of those groups I'm actually going to give you a private invite, because you can't just actually jump in there. You actually got to be invited to join it. So then at the end of it, there's going to be a lot of you who are probably on the fence and thinking, how is this going to benefit me, and everything like that. And, so what I did was, there are going to be people who are going to want to network. And what I did is I took some of the messages that I write people, and I broke it down as a general message that you can actually flip around and be able to use for yourself. As with anything, you could standardize the process or whichever the case, but I wrote it in a way that it really answers the who, what, when, where, and why and how questions, and really it does a really good job of introducing who you are. You can use that template, and I provide that in there. And the great part about this course is you can contact me at any time on LinkedIn. That's one of the major benefits of really not only buying this course, but you're able to connect with me. You're going to be in this professional network with me, and you can always connect with me there. And you can always know that if you have a question, you can always message me. And that's one of the great part about it. And what's coming down the pipeline is I'm actually putting together a secret networking group that I'm actually going to put together that, for only members who actually buy this course. Okay, this is only for members, and that's coming actually. So just keep that in mind, because remember, this is a beta copy, and I'm really planning on adding more to this, because again, this is day 30. So I wanted to make sure I got this information out there. I wanted to take action, and I want to give as many people an opportunity to jump on this. So here's what you got to do now. Before you even decide you want to pick this up, look at what I started. I told you, as I started, was 63 connections and 1 million professionals. Right before I actually put this PowerPoint together, you're seeing right there in the upper right-hand corner how many connections I have right now. That means I've built this thing up over 2,000 plus connections and almost 29 million results. Or professionals that I've increased in my network since I started this 30 days ago. Okay, and like I told you, 7 to 8 hours maximum that I've put into this over the last 30 days. It took me time to write the actual course, and it also took me some time to put this together. As with anything, I didn't want to outsource this. I wanted to have my own personal feel, and that's what you're seeing. So right before I actually started this, I took a screenshot of what my current LinkedIn network is, and for those of you that are on LinkedIn with me right now, you know that I shared that this morning. So that's actually on LinkedIn. And at the bottom there, you see that it's 22s.com/yes to money/LinkedIn Unleashed. And I'm hosting this right now that you're seeing this on a 22 Social page. And for those of you who don't know what that is, just type in 22 Social Review. You'll see me there, and you'll see the amount of results. You'll know what kind of marketer I am and why I'm aligning with 22 Social. So last but certainly not least, click that green button. Get it now. If you still see this button, then you're in luck, because you're going to be one of those 200 people that's going to be able to take advantage of this course while it's offered at this price. After that, sorry, I can't keep it up, and I completely plan on repackaging this, upping the price on this, because this information is worth a lot more. And really, with that being said, all you need to do now, click that green button below, get it now, and secure your copy, and then be looking in your emails. Connect with me, because in this guide, I'm going to give you my information in there. You can connect with me, and once I start this group, we're going to use that as a valuable marketing tool that's going to allow you and everybody in there to actually grow together. So, as I said, get it now, click the green button. Thank you all so very much for taking the time to actually watch this presentation. Pick up LinkedIn Unleashed while it's still available. After that, sorry, I'm pulling it down just because the information in here is worth well over what I'm actually charging for. So click the green button, and I'll see you on the other side. Have a great day.